Good morning, students. Welcome to the class on history. Today we are going to deal with the next topic called the speaker. So, speaker is the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. And how is he elected? He is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha. And the people, the members of the Lok Sabha, they take the oath of loyalty in the presence of the speaker. So speaker is the one who presides over the meetings of Lok Sabha. He is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha, and the members of Lok Sabha take the oath of loyalty in the presence of the speaker. Now, what are the functions of the speaker? The speaker has to supervise the proceedings, maintain order and discipline of the house. The speaker supervises the proceedings, maintains the order and discipline of the house. Now let's come to the next point called Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is known as the upper house, known as the council of states, and Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house that cannot be that cannot be dissolved. So Rajya Sabha is the upper house, known as the council of states. It is a permanent house that cannot be dissolved. Let's see the composition now. The composition of the strength of Rajya Sabha is 250 members. And how do we get this number called 250? 238 represent the states and the union territories, and the 12 are nominated by the President of India. This is how you come to a number called 250. 238 from the states and the union territories, and the 12 people are nominated by the President of India. And the seats allotted to the states and the union territories will depend on the population of the state. Which means if the states have got more population, they can have more seats. If the states do not have more population, they can get only less seats. And the 12 people are nominated by the President of India. And how do we collect this number called 12? 12 eminent personality or important personalities in the field of art, literature, science and social service. People who excel in the fields of art, literature, science and social service are nominated by the President of India. So this is how you get the number called 250, 238 from the states and the union territories, and 12 nominated by the President of India. Now we come to the next point, that is Vice President. Vice President is a presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. He is the ex officio chairperson. So the chairperson of Rajya Sabha is known as the Vice President, and he is the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha, and is the ex officio. Ex officio means by virtue of one's position, which means the moment a person becomes a Vice President of India, automatically that person becomes a chairperson of Rajya Sabha. That's what you mean the term called ex officio. Ex officio means by virtue of one's position, which means when a person becomes the Vice President of India, automatically that person becomes the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. And the next is about the term of Rajya Sabha. The term of Rajya Sabha, the period of the Rajya Sabha members is 6 years. And 1/3 of the members will retire every 2 years. So after every 2 years, 1/3 of the members will retire, and that's why it is known as the permanent house that cannot be dissolved. So Lok Sabha there can be dissolved, but Rajya Sabha is a permanent house because 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years, and it is a permanent house that cannot be dissolved. Now, what qualifications do you require to be a member of Rajya Sabha? First one, must be an Indian citizen, must be at the age of 30 years, cannot hold government office, government service, must not be insolvent, must not be living in debt, and must be mentally sound. If you fulfill these 5 qualifications, you are eligible to be a member of Rajya Sabha. Now let's move on to the next one, that is what are the functions of the Parliament. Okay, there are 6 of them: making laws, financial control, control over the executive, judicial functions, constituent functions, and organ of information. And let's take the first one. What do you mean by making laws? Parliament is the highest law-making body in the country. They can introduce new laws and they can change the old ones. But every law must be sanctioned from the Parliament. It means Parliament has to sanction any law that is passed in the country. And how do we make a law? What is the procedure of making a law? The law is introduced in the form of a bill. Okay. The first form of the law is a bill, and bill is known as a draft of a composed law. Then a bill becomes an act. Then what happens? This bill has to be passed by both houses of the Parliament. Then it has to be signed by the President of India. So this is the procedure of making a law. Law is introduced in the House in the form of a bill, and bill is known as a draft of a composed law. A law becomes an act and it is passed. It has to be passed by both houses of the Parliament. Then it has to be signed by the President of India. Now what are the different types of the bill? There are three different types. One is ordinary bill, second money bills, and the third one is constitution amendment bills. And what do you mean by ordinary bills? Draft or proposals for ordinary laws made by the legislative body. Okay. And these ordinary bills can be introduced either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. So these ordinary bills are proposed by the legislative body, and it can be introduced either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Now what do you mean by money bills? Money bills deal with matters related to tax, borrowing money by the government, payment into the withdrawal from the emergency fund. And remember, these money bills can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. So ordinary bills are prepared by the legislative body and it can be introduced either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. But money bills can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Okay. And third one is constitution amendment bills. These bills are to amend, to change, to make some changes in the constitution. And this constitution amendment bills can be introduced either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. So the ordinary bills and the constitution amendment bills can be introduced either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha, but money bills can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Let's move to the next one, that is financial control. Okay, Parliament is the one that controls the finance of the government. Okay, and the government presents the budget before the Parliament. And budget, I have told you, budget is the income and how it will be spent. Income of the government and how this income money will be spent. And the Parliament has the right to make some suggestions or changes in the budget, and the Lok Sabha has the right to reject the budget completely. So financial powers, which means Parliament is the one that controls the finance of the government. Government has to present the budget before the Parliament, and the Parliament has the right to make some changes, or the Lok Sabha has the power to reject the budget completely. And budget means it includes income of the government and the expenditure of the government. And as soon as control over the executive, it means that the Parliament has the right to check on the ministers and their work and how is it done. Which means the members have the right to ask questions about the policies of the government, and the ministers will have to be responsible to the Parliament, and they are answerable in the Parliament. So this is the right of any member of the Parliament to ask questions about the policies of the government, and the ministers, they are responsible and answerable to the Parliament. And if the ministers do not give satisfactory response, the Lok Sabha can introduce something called a vote of no confidence. Vote of no confidence means a lack of confidence. And if vote of no confidence is passed, the government has to resign. So this is how we control over the executive. This is how we control the executive, asking questions, and they are responsible in the parliament. If they do not give satisfactory answers, we can introduce something called a vote of no confidence. If it is passed, the government will have to resign. Now let's see about what are the judicial functions. The parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, have the power to remove the president, vice president, and judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court. So it is the right of the parliament to remove the president, vice president, judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court. And what are the reasons? Okay, there are two reasons. If they violate the constitution or if they misuse the authority. So there are two reasons why the judges can be removed: if they violate the constitution or if they misuse their authority. And this particular procedure of removing the judges is known as the impeachment. Process of removing the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court is known as impeachment. So it is the right of the parliament to remove the president and the vice president and judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court, and the particular procedure is known as the impeachment. There are two reasons for the impeachment: violating the constitution or misusing their authority. And the fifth one, constitution functions. It means it is the right of the parliament to make changes or to cancel the features or the provision of the constitution. Okay? And for making changes in the constitution, they require a simple majority called more than 50 members present and voting. Okay? And for making certain amendments, for making certain changes in the constitution, they require 2/3 majority. For simple matters, they require only a simple majority, that is the 50% of the members present and voting. Certain amendments, they require 2/3 majority. And the government requires the approval of the parliament for international treaties, trade agreements, and declaration of the war. And the last one is an organ of information. Parliament is considered as the organ of information, and the members of the parliament, they can ask for any information, anything that is not related to the security of the country. So they can ask for any information except for anything related to the security related matter. And parliament is known as a law-making body. It has got numerous responsibilities. It checks on the government and ensures the welfare of the people. So these are the things that are related to the first chapter of civics. Go through the video along with the PDF so that you will be able to understand it better. Thank you.